Hello, this is Subhuman, bringing you a replay commentary on a game of Regicide. I'm playing as the Space Marines, on the Veteran Master level, against the dreaded Orks. Let's start a new game. As this is a replay commentary, spoilers, I only actually did the commentary after about 7 or 8 very frustrating games where I basically got mullered. About half the time it was my fault because my chess is terrible and I kept getting taken from pieces that really shouldn't have been able to take me
pushing them back.
sensible replacement. And this time I feel I got a bit lucky in return. So I decided to attack down the left flank, and here you get to see the difference between Ork and Space Marine at this Veteran Master level of the game. That was my grenade, 1 point of damage to 1 unit. Let's see how their grenade, which costs 1 less action point, does against me.
Get ready for the boom!
What I was hoping when I advanced up the left flank was that I would take out all the pawns in the left flank and hopefully exchange castles. The Ork pieces at this level of game are stronger than the Space Marine ones, so trading pieces down is actually to my advantage.
To victory!
Orks have distinct advantage in hand-to-hand combat. They have lots more hit points than Space Marines, though Space Marines admittedly have more armor, but they also have a racial advantage which gives them a significant hand-to-hand combat damage edge. At range combat,
open fire!
Both Space Marines and Orks find it rather difficult to hit, but that doesn't mean it's not worth trying, because once in a while you can get lucky and get some damage in.
Nowhere for him to run, just the way I likes it.
Let's see how Ork Assault combat does against the Space Marines.
Close. Easy target.
Half his hit points. And half his hit points again. Dead.
Blast them!
I've noticed that one-shotting of pieces seems to be happening less. It's possible that a patch corrected some of the severely imbalanced things that the opposing side was doing before. Now, considering my move, I didn't really want to advance into Ork fire that much, so I just decided to try and maintain my firing line while also opening up the bishop for the diagonal.
Open fire!
There's one of the spots where I got a bit lucky. And I decided to throw an energy shield and some extra hit points on my queen. Not because I was anticipating the queen going to action anytime particularly soon, but more because the queen can always do with extra hit points on the shield. Now that decision I didn't really follow. I suppose he didn't want to get assaulted by me, but I decided to trade on my Devastator versus his Looter Boy, as Looter Boys can do severe damage to your pieces. I figured I may as well try and get lucky by taking some assault attacks into him. Got a very lucky critical hit off there, and if I finish him with a Marine, then I've got myself a free bishop. Lines of sight apply, so that Marine can take the shot. Have the next furlong take it, and oh well, it was worth a try.
Make sure we get the teeth.
Of course, I was expecting this Devastator to die. I was hoping to trade it for the Looter, because again, Looters do a lot more damage to me than I can do to them, in general terms. So having a Looter stunned and surrounded by Marines was good for me.
We shall prevail. Forward to victory.
At this point, I didn't take the Looter with the Assault Marine as I was hoping nearby Marines would be able to take him out in hand-to-hand combat, and they did. Happy times. At this point I decided to take a pot shot at the Queen, not because I particularly expected the Queen to die, but because a weakened Queen is always helpful. At this point, I'm also planning on trying to figure out how to trade queens. King has an open diagonal onto him, and that seems like a suitable way of doing things. In the meantime, deciding what to do.
Firing on target!
When in doubt, shoot.
The boss knows what he's doing.
Now, Stormboys can do very significant critical damage in hand-to-hand combat, so this could have gone very badly for him.
Means business.
I was actually expecting that pawn to die in a one-shot. But he must be one of the luckiest pawns alive. So at this point I thought, time to try that trade. Bring my librarian forward. And you get to see the difference between the librarian and the weird boy powers. My librarian has an amazing ability to move 2 hit points from one character to himself. Let's try and take out that storm boy. Hopefully we'll get lucky. We didn't. So let's see this devastating 2 hit point power in action.
Your life force empowers me.
Wow. And in return, extra hurty one-shots any piece that's below 50 points. Send hit points. Seems balanced to me.
We shall trample your banner into the dust.
I wouldn't even call this a fair trade. I'd call this a massive advantage trade to me. Getting rid of the queen in exchange for losing librarian's wussy-ass powers worked wonders for me. Explode, you evil orc. I suspect the Walrus is going to take umbrage at that. But in the meantime, our librarian may as well be useful by weakening other pieces on the board. So at this point I consider, should I heal up my pieces or shoot some more? Let's see what we do.
My armor is supreme.
I'm planning on bringing my Terminators into the action, so I decided to throw some shields on them.
Open fire! Gorky Morka, what? No way they can beat the Orks now!
Yes, that's pretty much what you expect if you saw a librarian meeting an orc. So at this point the king's exposed. Kind of.
We
He's
are
out in
pushing
front of
them
it.
back.
And I decide,
We shall prevail.
I think I should be shooting at him.
Our victory is assured.
So we go forwards a bit.
Firing on target.
Start trying to clear that pawn out of the way. Get some good checking opportunities on the king. Some open ranks. Now I have a bunch of action points and nobody in range. So, armour up. A Devastator is probably my best ranged unit.
Boys.
And here I feel is where the computer made a mistake.
Oh, gun you down, runt!
Decided to bring his king into the action and start shooting. Well, Space Marines are actually okay in ranged combat against orcs. So, what I didn't really want to do is get the king to retreat. But I also didn't want to get taken by surprise. So, I wanted the king to stay there so I could shoot at him, but I also didn't want to bring him to bring up his other pieces because that would get me murdered. What could I do? As you can see, the war boss has 20 hit points and 4 armor. He's pretty difficult to take out. So, what should I do in this case?
Ready to
I'm thinking maybe I should rush him with my Assault Marine there. Use the moving attack on him. I figured the Assault Marine would almost certainly die straight away. Should bring the pawn up maybe. Get him in shooting range. That's what I decided to do finally. Get 3 pieces in shooting range. And pile some fire into the king. Hope we get lucky.
Grenade!
Toss another grenade. Again, 2 of our action points for an attack against 3 pieces. And a special ability of the Orks that allows them to get a shield when their damage triggers. Not really much damage to them.
They ain't getting away from us!
Now we did some armour damage there, which is good, which means more incoming
Get
kits do
ready
more
for the
damage.
boom!
And again, we'll get to see how the Orks damage is fairly better than the Space Marines when it comes to the grenades in this level of play. I felt that was actually good for me because it opened up a rank, so I decided to get the Terminator in on the action. But I didn't really want their Warboss shooting at me, so I decided to assail him, stunning him and stopping him from taking another attack.
Executing. We got him now, boss.
Brings his pawn up. Uses a squig one on my unit. It's supposed to have a 50% chance of stunning a unit. I'm suspicious of that assertion. So now I have a bunch of weakened and dizzy pieces. Not entirely sure what to do with them. I could check the king and then allow the stun to wear off. That's what I'm thinking about doing at the moment. Got that pawn there I kind of need rid of.
The Codex predicts how the wisdom of the Codex is clear.
And I decide to take what's a very silly risk. See if I can't kill that pawn
Weapon ready.
before he takes my assault room.
Weapon ready.
I got very lucky there. That was probably my cheesiest move. And the only reason you're seeing that level of luck is because that move failed to work in the 7 or 8 games I played before this one where the Orks absolutely murdered me. I basically had to keep replaying and replaying until I got a bit jammy.
Nowhere for him to run. Just the way I likes it. Oi, you! Eat this! Shooting!
At this point I figured my assault marine was almost certainly dead anyway.
Victory is with flee before us!
So I decided to use his move and attack against the enemy warboss.
Strike hard!
A reasonable hit. Now, the reason I armoured him was so that the enemy warboss wouldn't just take my piece. Sorry, wouldn't just ignore my piece and shoot him rather than taking him. I wanted the warboss to get closer into the fight. I wanted to draw him out.
This is my best chopper! Blast him! Time for some unfriendly fire!
Instead, the warboss decided to kill my assault marine. I was fully expecting him to take the other one, but for some reason he ignored it. Actually works for me though. I've now got an assault marine in hand-to-hand combat, and I can do a lot more damage. Now, I knew my castle in the bottom left corner, my Terminator, was in potential threat from that Storm Boy there. He might have been to threaten him by jumping in towards my Devastator. So I decided to get next to him and pump a few shots into enemy pieces. I figured so long as the king stays there, I can get shots into him every turn.
You shall
I can try and take out this Storm Boy while I'm at it. I'd prefer to shoot at the king, but the Storm Boy blocked line of sight. So, may as well just keep shooting away at him. Hope we get lucky.
open fire! No way they can be! We're gonna stop him right here and right now!
All we expected last turn happened. Ork Warboss finally took offence at having an assault marine next to him, and got closer to all my pieces. This works for me because now I
through the
can
right bit
press
that
more fire
time.
onto him.
Oh, smash ya!
One thing I've noticed the enemy doing is attacking shielded units with a nice strong attack first.
None shall survive.
What I'd have done there is shot at the Terminator with one of the shooter boys first, hoping to take off his shield. That way the Storm Boy's hand-to-hand combat attack would have done a lot more damage. Now, I don't really like that king shooting at me, and because it's only one action point to pin the king down, I decided to get in his face, and then see what I could do about this Storm Boy. And then take some hand-to-hand attacks against the king. Now, unit selection is still a little janky, so it took me a few goes to actually get the shot off. But it's pretty much worth it. And finally the king gets the hint and decides to take a pace backwards.
This is me best chopper. Get off, I'm trying to shoot here. Dagger, dagger, dagger.
Now you may think why I'm not taking that Storm Boy with the castle.
None shall survive.
The reason is there's a looter on the diagonal that will take the castle back again, and I really don't want that looter in the game. The reason I'm moving my Devastator there is to get him into line of sight of the king so that I can shoot him. I decided to heal him up a bit as well because I really don't want that Devastator dying.
Devastation.
And just keep popping away at that king. Hope we get lucky. This is what the king significantly weakened, so
You shall
we decided to try and take out that Storm Boy. And we got lucky there.
We got him
Excellent.
now, boss.
And as usual, the Squig one stuns my entire side. So with not much action points left to spend, Armek was probably one of my bigger mistakes this game, and decided to go up with my pawn, and
This shall be over soon.
yep, there we go. I'm thinking about assaulting that pawn that's in front of my Terminator. Or at least getting
The
the
enemy has
pawn into
few
range of the king
places
so I
left
can
to
take a
run.
pot shot at him. Then, almost as soon as I've moved, I've realised that killing the pawn in front of the Terminator will just get his enemy
Frag
castle
grenade
Meganob
deployed.
to muller my castle, so that would be a terrible move. So instead I decided to throw off a frag grenade. As usual, it completely misses. And then I can't really think what to do next, so pause for a bit
Your
and throw a shield on my
attack shall
Terminator.
fail.
Now, the reason this was a dumb move was it brought
Make sure we get the key.
the enemy looter into play, giving him a free pawn. On the other hand, the looter doing that did stop the king moving back, which did in turn eventually win me the game. Spoilers!
Time for the big guns.
That's the enemy major area of effect attack they have. As you can see again, it's turned up to 11 on this level of play. But you play the game, you take your choice. That's what we're doing right now.
They cannot hide
Now I
from
decide
us.
whether should I retreat and heal, or should I keep up the pressure, because a couple of good shots could potentially finish off that enemy war boss and win me the game. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here, because I don't really need my Devastator dying, but I do really want to be applying the pressure. I'm deciding, should I move into range of the enemy pieces or away from it?
A few more shots are all that is needed.
I decide to go for it and get stuck in there. Let's see what we can do. Throw Throw a shield on my assault marine. Throw Devastator.
Face judgment.
And take a hand-to-hand combat attack against their looter. And as is to be expected, when firing with a minigun at a range of a couple of feet, I completely miss. Let's see how every bolter does.
Orks are gonna win! I can
Miss as
feel
well.
it!
And there goes the Warboss retreating again.
Zorgoth!
Now, I'm not entirely sure why
This thing's
the enemy
just as
decided to kill
dangerous up
their
close.
looter boy there rather than the Warboss. I suppose they felt the looter was more exposed. Considering the Warboss is the most
We
important
shall
piece of the
prepare
game, I'm not
forward
sure of the
to
logic of it.
victory.
Well, I decided, seeing as he appears to be ignoring me anyway, I'll just keep up the pressure on the Warboss there.
Open fire!
As you can see, I'm attacking with the weaker unit first, because if I pop the energy shield, then the stronger unit gets an attack, hoping to do more damage.
Devastation!
And that failed. As I'll keep up that pressure. Just keep shooting, just keep shooting. Now at this point, I was hoping I could use another Terminator armor on the Terminator. Didn't really have that option. And so, what did I do next? Yep, took a stab at that looter.
Fall. The boss knows what he's doing.
And again, the RNG was not in my favour that time.
This should
On the
slow
other
him
hand,
down.
the thoroughly unfair Ork grenades actually did me a massive favour there. Opened up the rank for my Terminator.
Termination,
Thank
the
you very
enemy
much.
knows fear. For glory.
Well, from here,
Priority target.
things could have gone very badly if the Terminator died to return fire. So I had to decide whether I'd keep shooting
Weapon
or whether
ready.
I'd actually shield my Terminator some. And what I decided was to keep shooting. Victory! Yes! The amount of times I had to play that before that pulled off was so many. Anyway, I pulled it off. This has been Subhuman giving you a replay commentary on Regicide, a Warhammer 40,000 early access game by Hammerfall.